Hi everybody, Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, here to share with you some exciting news from Stampin' Up, ready for the new year 2018. So here we have it, we have a shiny new occasions catalogue for 2018. I'm not allowed to show you the inside, but from the front cover I would say there is some very exciting stuff waiting for you for the new year. So as a demonstrator, I've already seen some of this product, I've been able to use some of this product, and all I can say is that it is amazing. There's lots of fantastic stuff in here ready for you. The catalogue goes live on the 3rd of January. However, if you have shopped with me in the last 6 months, you've already got one winging its way to you. Any new customers out there who are interested in getting a hands on this beautiful new catalogue can drop me an email via my blog. So if you go across to my blog at inkybutterfly.wordpress.com and drop me a note in the contact me section, I will be happy to send you a catalogue, and that is free of charge. Free of charge. Okay, so that's very exciting. I can't show you the inside. I know you're desperate to see some new stuff, but I can't show you against regulations. But there's something even more exciting in the wings, and that is our main event of the year. We call it Celebration. So again, can't show you the inside. This will also go live on the 3rd of January. And Celebration is a fantastic opportunity to get free, yes, free product. So the way it works is that you spend £45 on regular catalogue items, whether that be in this catalogue or the running annual catalogue. So for every £45 you will be able to select an item from within this catalogue. Okay, so there's a limited choice, but there are some absolutely amazing stuff in here. Really is amazing. One of the best Celebration catalogues I've seen so far, but there's also an added element this year. So Stampin' Up have introduced sort of a two-tier system. So the £45 mark is what we've used for the past couple of years, certainly while I've been a demonstrator, but this time around they're having two tiers. So there are some products within this catalogue for which you will have to spend £90 to qualify to earn. Okay, but it's all very clear in the catalogue. And again, these will go out if you request a occasions catalogue, you will get one of these too. Okay, so those will all be sent to you free of charge. Just make a request to me over at my blog. And don't forget as well, before the end of year there is a sale. So anything that's sort of coming into from the autumn winter catalogue that's currently out is actually going to retire and will no longer be available. So that sale's been running since the 1st of December or thereabouts, and will run till the end of the year, but it is while stocks last. So if you are desperate to get hold of anything, check out the sale. Links are all on the blog and stuff, and I'll put them in the bar below. Check it out. Some great savings to be made on some of that stuff. So I hope you will shop along with me. Okay. So I do have a card project. I just wanted to get all that exciting stuff out of the way, because otherwise I'd forgot to tell you later. So let's move that out of the way. So I'm still in Christmas mode. It's all been a bit, I don't know where 2017 has gone, to be quite honest with you, and I cannot believe we're now gearing up for Christmas again, only a week away, and I just can't even believe it, really. So I've got this card to share with you today. Now this is a twofold element to this, because I'm actually using colours so that I can also play along with a colour challenge that's going over at the Inspire Create challenge blog. I'll put some links in the description bar as well, so you can check out the projects there. That blog is actually run by one of my Stampin friends over at Stampin by Hannah, and we do different themes and colour challenges, and we do a Case the Designer challenge, which goes out every fortnight. And this time around we've got a colour challenge. So I played around with it and I created this card, but I'm going to make it slightly different for you guys. So I liked the overall design of it, but I thought the sentiment was a bit squished and sort of the ends of it got a little bit lost in that dark green. I'll go through the colours in a second. So I've changed it up slightly so that it pops a bit more, sort of sinks into the card a little bit. So we're going to change up the colours slightly. So the ink colours that the colours that are in the challenge are Crumb Cake, Pear Pizzazz, Real Red, and Tranquil Tide. Okay, so it kind of screams Christmas, really, to be honest. So as I was still in Christmas mode, I thought I would continue with that. Okay, so that's that. And the stamp set that's been featured is this one. Now this is actually from the annual catalogue. Sorry about the flare. There we go, that's better. It's from the annual catalogue, so it's carried over from last year. And there's some beautiful scripty fonts in there. We're going to stick with the same elements, just change it up slightly, okay? So you can see there I've got this, so I've got this little tiny berry thing, the sprig, this element and the pine cone to add to that. But look at this great snowflake. I mean, it's just lovely, absolutely lovely. Anyway, great set from the annual catalogue. Okay, right, so what we're going to do then. So I've already cut some stuff. You don't need to see me cut stuff, right? I think we can all do that. So we're going to use a 3 1/4 piece of Whisper White to stamp on. We're going to mat it onto another piece of Whisper White, which is 3 1/2 inches square, and then we've got a piece of Real Red, which is 3 5/8 square. Okay, so those are going to layer together over there, and I've decided to go with a Tranquil Tide card base for you. Okay, right, dead easy to put together. We're going to need some scrap paper because I'm going to be stamping off the edge of my cardstock. So just move that out of the way for a second. So on this little tiny piece, we're going to do some stamping. Okay, right. We're going to start with the sort of pine sprigs, and we're going to do those in Pear Pizzazz. So let's just move those out. Okay. So I've already mounted all the stamps up anyway, just so that you can see that. The Stampin' Up acrylic blocks are fantastic. They're nice and thick. They've got a nice little groove down the side. They're really, really nice to hold. And aside from, we do have a really big one, which is a little bit heavy and stuff, but most of our stamps will fit on sort of A through to D, really. Okay. So I'm stamping off the edges. So I'm filling in the corners first to get those in. Okay, and I've just sort of done that. So now I'm going to twist the stamp around a little bit, fill in between. And it doesn't matter if this is a little patchy to start off with, because by the time we've filled in with all the other bits and bobs, it will fill itself, if you get that. So just adding a few little extra bits here and there, just so that white edge has mostly disappeared. A little bit more there. That will do. That will do. Okay, so that probably looks a little, sort of looks a bit symmetrical at this point, but as I say, as we add in the other layers, that will start to look a little bit more together. So we're going to move on to the darker green. So this is Tranquil Tide. This is one of the in colours. If you've not seen our ink pads before, you know, most ink pads have just sort of a lift off lid and stuff, but there's these little notches sort of there, and if you press there, it unlocks the lid, and then you just flip it round on itself, and then it does lock into place. I don't tend to lock it into place because then you have to sort of unlock it again, but you can lock it into place if you're a take it to the stamp kind of person. But I don't lock mine in. But okay, so again, nice little light taps onto the ink pad. Now, where should we put one of these? So it's kind of up to you. And with this stamp as well, because you've got sort of the berry elements at the bottom, but then you've got sort of leafy bits on the top. So when you turn it round, you can get very different look to it. So let's put one up here somewhere. Someone down the side. It's a bit close to the. Should have stamped that close to the edge really, but okay. And we'll put one down there. Okay, and then I'm going to use the sort of the berry and sprig to sort of fill in a little bit more detail around the very edge, just to fill out that image a little bit. So this is why I've got scrap underneath me. Look at the mess there is on this now. It's all good fun though. It's all creative mess. Creative mess is allowed. Okay, just a little bit more there. Okay, that will do just nicely. So that's coming along quite nicely. I think it goes this way. Yeah, I think it goes this way. Okay, fab. Right, pine cones next. Let's put this away. So again, so look, if you just pull it towards you, flip it over, snap it shut. That's how those work. So we're going to move to crumb cake. This has got to be one of the most popular colours in our palette. It's a great neutral, really soft brown colour. Okay. The thing I was going to say to you was as well, when you're sort of doing this kind of stamping, odd numbers look better than even numbers. There is some kind of scientific stuff behind that, just something about things being pleasing to the eye and stuff. So 3 is the magic number when it comes to this kind of image building. So we're just going to put the 3 there. Probably should have done that at a different angle. Okay. And then now we can add in these beautiful berries using your red. Again, I'm going to sort of use the rule of 3s. And there's this thing, this sort of concept of what they call a visual triangle. So by putting 3 like that, you kind of create this, what they call a visual triangle. So whilst we've done 2 sets of 3, we've now got some even numbers. So let's put another few around the place. The temptation is to go a bit crazy and put them all over the place, but I think that looks okay. Okay, so all of those are out of the way right now. Right, for the sentiments, so with colour challenges, you're allowed to add in neutrals like Whisper White and Basic Black, that kind of thing. And where have I put my it is. I'm going to use the Memento Black ink, nice black ink. It's a dye-based ink rather than the archival. You know, just like, not a great fan of archival. Archival has its place when you're stamping onto things that are non-porous. And if you notice as well, so this is a different type. This is a different type of ink pad with a lid and everything. But this has a felt base to it, and you get much better sort of contact with your stamp if you actually take the ink to the stamp and sort of give it a tap 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 rub rub sort of thing, and you can actually sort of check that that's inked well enough to then stamp. Okay, so let's see if we can get this lined up. So I don't really want the lettering to go over this sort of dark leaf too much if I can possibly help it. May not be as straightforward as that, but we'll go about there, I think. Okay, so clear blocks are great. You can see through. I mean, this isn't a clear stamp, but you get the sort of the rubber is in the shape of the sentiment, so you can roughly estimate where that's going to be. If you're worried about positioning, there is a Stamper Jig positioning tool available in the catalogue, and allows you to sort of test out where you're going to put your image, and then allows you to position it. But you may or may not be aware actually that we have a brand new stamp positioning tool coming your way soon. So they are actually currently available for pre-order, for shipping. Well, the pre-order opened at the beginning of the month and will run until the end of the month, or the 30th or something. And you can go and reserve one. You don't pay for it, but you will reserve it, and they will be shipped in the order that they're reserved. So now we're sort of halfway through that month. You're probably kind of pushing that shipping date. I think they originally said the first lot would go out sort of late March, April time. So depending on demand and stuff, that might be a little later now. But yeah, you can see that there is. It's a fantastic thing. It's a bit different to all the other stamping tools that are out there, in lots of different ways, and I can't wait to get my hands on mine. So yeah, watch this space. As soon as I get it, you're going to see it. It's a fantastic thing. Okay, we've stamped that bit. All we've got to do now is layer the card together. Let's move that out of the way. So that's going to go there. So with these two, we're just going to adhere these two together flat. So just going to use a little bit of fuse. Don't need a lot, just a couple of pieces in the corner, and smidge in the middle just to secure it. Fast fuse is great dry adhesive, but once it's down, so you just want to be careful when you're positioning and lining things up. So you've got a nice border before you press that down, because once that's down, that is down. That ain't coming off. Fantastic thing. The only thing you have to remember is the fleck. So I'll just show you that again. So here's my card base. I'm just going to burnish that score line a little better. So this is just going to go flat onto this piece as well. So again, I'm going to use a bit of my, where is it going to go? So yeah, about there I reckon. Now, what's that, about ½ inch from the top? Okay. So I say, if you pull back on your adhesive and then snap it away, the adhesive will break, and instead of going into sort of mozzarella cheese string on you, which is not great. That's a new roll, so it's getting a takes a little while to sort of run in. So again, what you want to make sure that's lined up before you commit to pressing it down. It looks about, I tend to go by this edge because it's sort of closer. If you've got a big gap, it's hard to judge if something's straight, whereas the narrow gap you can judge a little better, so I'm happy with that. So at the moment that's all nice and flat and boring, but what we'll do is we will add some dimensionals to the back of our stamped panel. One in each corner. And usually that's enough, but with a bigger piece like that, you don't want a saggy middle. You want a bit of support in the middle, so just put one in the middle. Get those back ends off. So funny, I whip those off in no time at all when I'm not filming. As soon as you put a camera in front of you, everything just starts to go to pot. Okay, right. So again, we'll just line that up. So we've got sort of this different borders, which really, and I like the fact that the real red sort of pulls out those berries a bit, lifts it off the card, without sort of adding too much fuss. And not a die in sight. I love dies, and I have not used a die. I've trimmed everything out, so I have to bear in mind not everyone's got a die cutting machine, because I do love dies. So that's this card. I think you'll agree that has a bit more impact than that. It's all personal taste. Some people like you know, the clean, crisp white look, but I quite like this coloured one, and I've kept to all the colours in the challenge, and I'm dead pleased with that. The corresponding blog post will actually go out tomorrow, so I'll put a link in, but it won't work until tomorrow for that. That's when that will go live, as will so the blog post will also list all the items that I've used, so the ink colours, etc., and the stamp set. You will also find all the details for requesting those catalogues. Don't forget the catalogues. It's very exciting. I can't wait for 2018. I think it's going to be a fantastic Stampin' Up year. We've got anniversaries. It's the 30-year anniversary and stuff of Stampin' Up in America, and so it's going to be very exciting. Don't know whether there's anything special planned for you guys as customers, but I will let you know if something occurs. And that's it really. So I'm not going to see you now before Christmas. I will be back soon. Can't say exactly when. So we've got Christmas period, and I'm going on a little holiday over the new year, so I'll see you at some point then. But if you've got any questions, queries, you can contact me via my blog address, and I'll be happy to help. If you're considering being a demonstrator, there's lots and lots of perks to that as well. And so drop me a line, and I will let you know, or give you a ring, and we can chat about all of that too. Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a happy, healthy New Year celebration, and I will see you in 2018. Bye bye.